Hello everyone, welcome to Pete CD Vinyl World. Today I'm going to do a video which is a vinyl tag response to the record spinner who had 10 questions related to Kiss. And I figured I'd do that one since I'm a huge Kiss fan. In fact, the last video I did was showing a lot of my Kiss related albums, either by musicians or producers or some of the later band members who played on different records. So I showed a lot of those in my last video. But before we get started, if you like these videos, please subscribe and hit the like button. And his first question, he got 10 questions, was first record you ever received or bought, which oddly, the first Kiss album I had was Destroyer. It was actually a copy on cassette that my cousin had given me. And this was in 1979, I was 5. So having an album on cassette then was kind of odd to begin with, because most people were still buying records. Cassettes didn't really become big until like at least the early 80s. People would record albums on cassette back then, but to have an actual album on cassette back then wasn't too common, so that was kind of odd. And even that said, going into the early 80s, the rest, when I started getting Kiss albums, I actually didn't get a vinyl till later on. I'd gotten like double platinum, and trying to think what else, like Love Gun. So double platinum was definitely one of the first ones I had also. But the first record I remember buying, it might not be the first, but was Alive 2. And this is one of the what's known as the 85 pressings. So I was probably 11 or 12 when I got this. And they're actually, in a way, worth more than the originals from the 70s, even though they didn't come with any of the posters and booklets. I've gotten a booklet that I've put in here, Frankenstein or whatever, but yeah, those Kiss albums from the pressings from the 80s are actually worth more than the 70s ones, but that was probably one of the first vinyls I got. Second question, a German pressing. This is a Hotter Than Hell from Germany, and I believe this is late 70s because it has the Filmworks label. And their earlier albums, Kiss, Hotter Than Hell, and Dressed to Kill, weren't released worldwide until they got much bigger, I think, in some countries. So, you know, the first three in some countries didn't get released until after 76, 77. So I'm not sure if this is the first time it was out in Germany, if it was before that, but they were released by Phonogram in Germany. They still says Casablanca, but anyway, next question. Compilation or best of release. So this is the only newer album I'm going to show. This is Kiss World. Came out, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. 2020, actually. It's a double album. It's like 4 or 5 songs on each side. It actually goes through their whole career. So there's like Unholy and Psycho Circus, Modern Day Delilah on here. I didn't get the colored version. This is the regular black vinyl. I think Walmart had the... But I don't really buy those new releases that are just a colored vinyl variant. I'm not really into that. I only buy stuff that's, you know, has something on it that's never been released, or like this is the single standalone album. Really, those new colored vinyl reissues of the older albums are just the 2014 pressings with colored vinyl or whatever. So not really interested in those too much. Number 4, a bootleg. This is Deep Fried at Kamikaze Kissing at Budokan. And the side says Deep Fried in Budokan, Japan. So no, this is not from the Lick It Up tour. This is Vinnie Vincent here. This is from the Crazy Nights tour when they played the Budokan. It's professionally recorded because if you have any of those Kiss Anthology DVDs, I think there was a show, the video of this, it was on TV, so it's all professionally recorded. And this is the part of the Crazy Nights tour where they actually started bringing back some older songs. Like, a lot of people think they started playing I Was Made for Loving You again on the Hot in the Shade tour, but it was actually the second half of the Crazy Nights tour that they started playing it. So I remember buying this at Vintage Vinyl in New Jersey. Must have been like 88 or 89. So even then, they were way more expensive than a regular album. Next question is Kiss Online exclusive pressing. I've never ordered anything from Kiss Online, especially hearing the horror stories of people getting their items. I saw that a lot of people ordered the Destroyer box set, didn't get it until like weeks later, and anyone who ordered it on Amazon actually got it the day it was released, so it's kind of ridiculous. So I never bought any of that exclusive stuff. 7-inch single. This is New York Groove from Ace Frehley's solo album with Snowblind on the B-side. Yeah, it's kind of weird how until, I think, Creatures of the Night, Kiss did not have any picture sleeves in the U.S. In other countries, they have all those cool single picture sleeves, but in the U.S., they just came in the plain Casablanca sleeve or whatever. I always thought that was weird. Let's see. Most valuable. So I'm not really up to date on the most valuable, so I got a few here that I'm going to show. Because at one time, this is one of the more sought-after albums, but they seem to pop up more and more lately, which is kind of odd. But this is the Rock and Roll Over Teardrop edition, where Paul has got blue teardrops coming out of his eye. This was an exclusive, not exclusive, but I don't know if it was a printing error or what, from the RCA Record Club. So they were the only pressing that had that. And there must have been a lot of them pressed because they're popping up on eBay. Used to go for more money. Now I think you can get one for like $50 or so. The RCA ones, they came with like, I think it came with the sticker, but none of the RCA or Record Club pressings ever came with those order forms. So if you see one that's missing those, that's okay. But it did come with the sticker, I think. So that's the first one. The second one, which is really shot up in value lately, is the non-makeup Creatures of the Night album. This was released in '85, I guess, to just capitalize on the success of the non-makeup lineup. Also, they were, during these tours in the '80s, they were playing a lot of songs from Creatures, and that album was out of print by then. So they decided to put a picture of the current lineup, which was Eric Carr and Bruce Kulick, on here. And there's at least one remix. Creatures of the Night was definitely remixed, and I think some of the other ones were as well. But the thing I like about this is it redoes the track order, where Killer is second on the first side, and Saint and Sinner is second to last on the second side, which I was always used to hearing that way until I got the remastered CD. So I kind of prefer this version, at least the order. And finally is, I've showed this before, but this is, it's not Kiss, but it's the Peter Criss band Chelsea. They had one album before Kiss actually was formed, so it's fairly rare. And actually, it's very rare to not have it be a promo. So someone actually bought this. But yeah, that's pretty valuable, I would say. A solo album. That's not one of the 1978 solo albums. So, Trouble Walking from Ace. I remember buying this when it was new. They have reissued it on a double 45 for some reason. I mean, it's not like an audiophile album. It sounds pretty good, but nothing great. This is probably overall the best one besides the 78 solo album. Sounds pretty good on vinyl. What next one? Most copies or a variant of an album. Most of the vinyl I only have maybe one or two copies of. So I'm just going to show the album I've got the most copies of in general, and that would be Destroyer. So this is the original CD. This is the 97 remaster. So the 97 remasters are probably the definitive versions of the CDs. I don't think they sound any better or worse than the original CDs. It's just that they have all the artwork that came with the albums. If you find the originals, they still sound good. But the 97s, I think, are overall a little bit better. And then here's the Destroyer Resurrected. sounds pretty good. You can definitely hear the drums more. Some of the songs have different mixing here and there. Also has the cover with the Destroyer. I mean the Dress to Kill outfits or whatever. And then the box set, which has a bunch of demos and unreleased stuff and single versions. It's kind of weird back even into the later 70s that Kiss was still releasing mono versions of singles. It's kind of odd. And then finally showing autographed vinyl. And this is Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits, autographed by Bruce Kulick. I'm not sure if you can even see the autograph because it's in black there. Right there. And that was me meeting him at one of those rock horror conventions in the 90s. This is actually a rare album in itself. This is the picture disc version of this. And the jacket is different. It's a gatefold and it has all their albums on the back. So this is actually fairly rare itself. And it's a compilation too. So I guess that counts. Anyway, so that's my final tag video. Again, if you like these videos, please subscribe and I'll talk to you later. Thanks.